analyzing all of this data. With the rise of data, there has been a tremendous increase in the number of cybercrimes across the globe. To prevent cyber attacks, cybersecurity is implemented. So what is cybersecurity? It is nothing but the practice of protecting networks, programs, computer systems, and their components from unauthorized digital access. As mentioned earlier, companies rely on data and it is required that the data is not compromised or stolen. To do this job, we have various cybersecurity professionals who are skilled to protect data from cyber attacks. There has been a sky-high growth in the number of cybersecurity jobs. This growth will only double in the near future, as companies will always be on the lookout for skilled professionals who can protect the confidentiality of the data. So now that we know why cybersecurity jobs are important, let us have a look at the various cybersecurity job roles. There are various kinds of cybersecurity job roles. Let's go through few of the top paying job roles. Going in the descending order of the salary structures in the USA, we first have the Chief Information Security Officer job role, followed by the Security Architect, Penetration Tester. Then we have Cybersecurity Engineer, Malware Analyst, and finally we will look into the Computer Forensic Analyst job role. I will now brief you about each of these job roles individually and look into their responsibilities, skills and salary structures both in the USA and in India. So let's start off with Chief Information Security Officer. A CISO is a senior level officer in any organization. He is entrusted with the safety of the data in an organization. A CISO has various responsibilities. They are required to develop, implement and maintain an organization's security and risk management program. They also communicate with their organization's stakeholders and brief them about various information-related security concerns. By doing so, they are able to implement a better security system for an organization. At times, a CISO would have to also recruit an IT team's members. They need to make sure that the candidate is knowledgeable and skilled. A company's risk and vulnerabilities have to be predicted beforehand. Prediction of such risks and vulnerabilities are taken care of by a CISO. They play a major role in preventing cyber attacks in any organization. Let's now look at the different skills required to be a Chief Information Security Officer. First and foremost, a candidate must have good communication and presentation skills. This is very important for any organization. A degree in computer science along with an MBA is a preferred qualification. MBA is not mandatory, but there is an added advantage if the candidate has an MBA along with a computer science degree. The candidate must be good at handling security breaches. It is preferred that the candidate has prior experience of handling a security breach and who is also good with incident management. Many employers prefer candidates who have global certifications. To become a Chief Information Security Officer, the preferred certifications are CISM, that is Certified Information Security Manager, and Certified Information System Security Professional, CISSP. If a candidate has either of these certifications, they have a better chance of getting a job as a Chief Information Security Officer. Let's now move on to their salary structures. A CISO earns nearly $180,000 in the USA. In India, the salary is nearly 25 lakhs per annum. That's a lot of money. So these were the responsibilities, skills and the salary structure of a Chief Information Security Officer. Let's move on to our next role. Our next role is that of a Security Architect. A security architect maintains the security of an organization's computer systems. They prevent the computer systems from malware attacks. Let's look into their responsibilities. First and foremost, our security architect identifies weak spots in a system by performing vulnerability tests. These tests are carried out on a regular basis. Along with vulnerability tests, risk analysis and security assessments are also done by a security architect. Installation of routers, VPN and firewalls are approved by a security architect. These devices are very important when it comes to the security of an information system. Well, a security architect rightly approves the installation of these devices. Digital signatures and public key infrastructures are designed. In addition to all the above responsibilities, a security architect also provides technical assistance and guidance to the other security team members. Let's now move on to the skills required to be a security architect. First and foremost, the candidate must have a computer science or an information technology degree. Coming to the experience, the candidate must have an experience in the field of risk management, as the role of a security architect is a lot to do with managing risks. Understanding of the network basics and various security protocols along with cryptography is required to be a good security architect. Lastly, the preferred certification to become a security architect is that of a CISSP, which is Certified Information System Security Professional. As mentioned earlier, this is only a preferred certification. A candidate who has this certification has a higher chance of bagging a security architect job. Let's now look into the different salary structures in the USA and in India. In the USA, a security architect earns nearly $123,000 per annum. In India, a security architect earns nearly 20 lakhs per annum. So that's all about security architect. Let's now move on to our next role, that is penetration tester. A penetration tester, also known as an ethical hacker, is a cybersecurity professional who tries to exploit a security system's vulnerabilities just like how a hacker would do. A penetration tester mimics the role of a hacker. Let's look into the various responsibilities of a penetration tester. As the name suggests, a penetration tester needs to perform penetration tests to discover and identify vulnerabilities in a system. In addition to this, they are also responsible for designing new penetration tools. All the penetration tests results are documented, and based on the document, new security measures are discussed with the other IT team and the management. A penetration tester performs tests by developing codes, and they also conduct security audits which help them understand the vulnerabilities in a system. Let's now look into the different skills required to be a penetration tester. A candidate must have 1 to 4 years of experience in the information security field. Knowledge of Windows, Linux, Unix operating systems is required. Also, the candidate must know C and C++. Languages such as Java, PHP and Perl are preferred by employers, but not a requirement. To successfully bag the position of a penetration tester, the preferred certifications are Certified Ethical Hacker, that is CH, and Certified Expert Penetration Tester, that is CEPT. Let's look into the salary structures of a penetration tester. In the USA, a penetration tester earns nearly $117,000 per annum. And in India, a penetration tester makes nearly 4 lakh rupees per annum. So those were the responsibilities, skills and salary structures of a penetration tester. Let's now move on to our next job role, that is cybersecurity engineer. On the whole, a cybersecurity engineer protects an organization's network and its data. They also plan security measures to prevent an organization from cyber attack. Let's look into the responsibilities of a cybersecurity engineer. They design cybersecurity platforms for a company. They are also responsible for planning and implementing cybersecurity measures. Well, a cybersecurity engineer solely designs, plans, maintains and implements security measures in an organization. They are also required to report and communicate with the other teams in an organization. A cybersecurity engineer is different from a network security engineer. While a network security engineer looks into the troubleshooting, a cybersecurity engineer looks into the prevention of cyber attacks. Let's look into the skills required to become a cybersecurity engineer. Just like the other job profiles, a degree in computer science or information technology is a must. Well, 2 years of experience in the relevant field is required to become a cybersecurity engineer. A cybersecurity engineer is needed to design security systems. Hence, a candidate with a good problem-solving skill is required. Along with good problem-solving skills, the candidate must also be good with networking skills. As mentioned earlier, knowledge of C and C++ is a must. Java and Python knowledge is preferred to be a cybersecurity engineer. Moving on to the salary, a cybersecurity engineer earns nearly $96,000 in the USA. Whereas in India, a cybersecurity engineer earns nearly 7 lakh rupees per annum. Moving on to our next job role, that is malware analyst. As the name suggests, a malware analyst is one who identifies various cyber threats such as worms, viruses, trojans, bots to understand their nature. A malware analyst is skilled at analyzing the different malware threats in a system. Let's now look into a malware analyst's responsibilities. They are responsible to identify threats, and once they identify, they are supposed to document the methods to avoid such malware threats. They also research and develop malware protection tools. Various malware protection tools are developed by malware analysts so that the next time a cyber threat occurs, they are able to easily identify. In addition to the above responsibilities, a malware analyst is also responsible to constantly be updated with the new malware threats. Moving to the skills required, a candidate must know Windows, Linux, Unix operating systems, and knowledge of C and C++ is a must. Usage of tools like IDA, Pro, OllyDBG, RegShot, and TCP View is suggested. Having a GIAC reverse engineering malware certification is a plus point. The certification is only a preferred certification. It is not a must that the candidate must possess this certification. Moving on to the salary structure, a malware analyst earns nearly $80,000 in the USA and earns nearly rupees 6 lakhs per annum in India. So those were the skills, responsibilities and salary structure of a malware analyst. Let's move on to our last job role, that is computer forensic analyst. Previously, we have seen the job roles wherein they try to protect a company from a cyber attack. In this role, we will see how a computer forensic analyst works after a cyber attack. A computer forensic analyst works on cases following an attack. They collect digital evidences to retrieve information. Let's look into their responsibilities. With the help of various investigation tools, a computer forensic analyst gathers evidences from a system which was a victim of a cyber attack. Their main responsibility lies in recovering deleted, manipulated, or stolen data. A computer forensic analyst helps various officials in investigating a case by discovering evidences from data which was manipulated or compromised. There have been a lot of cases where a computer forensic analyst has come to the rescue of the police department. Moving on to the skills, the candidate must hold a bachelor's degree and work experience in the related field is required. For the post of a computer forensic analyst, it is not necessary that the candidate must hold a computer science degree, but the candidate must have relevant work experience. A candidate must have knowledge of networking, law, and criminal investigation, as they have to do a lot with investigating cases as well. A sound analytical mind is critical as they have to analyze data and arrive at conclusions as to identify the cyber criminals. The preferred certifications to become a computer forensic analyst are Certified Forensic Computer Examiner, that is CFCE, and Certified Computer Examiner, that is CCE. Well, these were the skill sets required to become a computer forensic analyst. Moving on to the salary structures. A computer forensic analyst earns nearly $71,000 in the USA. And in India, a computer forensic analyst earns nearly 8 lakh rupees per annum. That was all about computer forensic analyst. Well, those were the 6 top 8 jobs in the field of cybersecurity. Now, I will run you through a sample resume of